Hi, everyone. This is English with Caitlin, an English listening podcast. Today's episode Tipping and Food Culture. Are you hungry right now? Well, I hope you've had a meal or something to eat. Why? Because today, let's talk about food. Let's talk about food culture shocks when visiting the United States, and let's talk about tipping. Hi, everyone. Have you been to the United States? If you have, what was something shocking you saw at the restaurants? Was it the size of the food? Was it having to leave a tip? Both? Let's talk about the size of the food. Maybe you know the food you get in the United States can be very large. For example, McDonald's. If you buy a large soda in the United States, it will be 946 milliliters. If you buy a large soda in the UK, United Kingdom, it will be 500 milliliters. The US soda is almost double the size, almost twice the size. When you order food or drinks, usually you get a lot. Sometimes this large size can feed 2 or 3 people. So it would be a good idea to share one meal, right? You can order one meal and eat it with someone. You can eat it together with someone. Many restaurants are okay with this, but sometimes there is a split meal fee. A split meal fee is when a restaurant charges you a little extra, maybe $2 or $3 more, to order one meal for 2 people. You are splitting the meal, so you are cutting the one meal into 2 meals. The restaurant will put the meal onto 2 plates. I don't like this fee. It is the same amount of food. It is one meal. Why should I have to pay more just because I am sharing? But this split meal fee is not very common. I have only seen it a few times, but it is sometimes, so be careful. And sometimes nice restaurants or expensive restaurants will not let you share a meal. Each person should order their own meal. But usually the really nice, expensive restaurants have smaller food sizes. Isn't that interesting? Fast food like McDonald's has large food sizes, but expensive restaurants have small food sizes. Fast food is cheaper and faster. They give you a lot of food for one meal. Because of this, fast food has had a big impact on the obesity problem in the United States. Impact, a strong effect or influence on something or someone. In future podcasts, I will talk about these social issues, problems in our world. I think it is interesting to talk about and to think about. For now, let's continue about the large food sizes. Yes, large food sizes are very popular, especially because of social media and review websites. Restaurants and bakeries and fast food places are always trying to make the next big social media trend. A trend is what is popular right now. It is what people are talking about and really interested in these days. Trends are always coming and going. Because of these trends, it looks really interesting. People will want to go there. Do you know about Vegas in the United States? I went there one time and everything was about the large size. Big buildings, big lights, big shows, and big food. I ordered a drink and it was as big as my arm. And as I was walking around Vegas, people asked me, "Where did you buy that drink?" I was a trendsetter, someone who starts a new trend, trendsetter. But see, the large size interests people. They want to buy. Maybe you are thinking, do Americans really eat a lot? Can they finish? In many cultures, you should eat everything that is on your plate. In many cultures, it is rude not to finish your meal. I think many people in the US try to finish eating everything they order at the restaurant. But what if they can't finish? When you are so full and can't eat anymore, what do? Just throw it away? Let's talk about that and also tipping. Okay. Most people get a to go box if they don't finish their meal, a takeaway box to take home their extra food. Actually, this is so common. If you have extra food, just ask, "Can I have a to go box?" And your server will bring you a small box or bag. I used to work as a server in a restaurant. Many people would take home their extra food. Is this common in your country? I know some countries think this is weird, but remember, the food size is very different in the US. You will probably have extra food. Next, let's talk about tipping culture. The tipping culture of the United States. Do you have tipping in your country? First, what is tipping? Tipping is when you give money for a service. Tipping is used to say thank you for someone doing something for you. Maybe you already know in the United States you should leave a tip for your server at a restaurant. However, there's the worry of how much should I tip? Can I leave cash? Where and when should I give the tip? These are all good questions. The basic rule is to tip 15% of your bill. How much is your meal? Take 15% of that. For example, 15% of a $20 meal is $3. This is a basic rule to follow if you don't know how much to tip. Sometimes you will have amazing service. Is your server super kind and helpful? Maybe you want to give more than 15%? That is okay. You can give more. I usually always give 20% of my bill as a tip, but I used to be a server. I know how difficult that job can be. But what if your server is really rude? What if they are really bad? Can I not tip? Well, that is your choice. You don't have to tip. But many of the servers get paid a low hourly wage. Hourly wage is how much money you make every hour. The restaurants pay the servers a low hourly wage. The restaurants need customers to give tips to the servers. I really hate this culture of tipping, but it won't change until the restaurants start paying the servers more. Most countries pay their servers a proper hourly wage, a good hourly wage to live on. Those servers don't need tips, but the US is different. Let's look at a bill receipt. Once you're about to finish your meal, the server will bring you the bill. If they don't bring it, you can ask them, "Can I have the bill, please?" Here is an example of a bill. The first is the check amount. That is how much your meal is. Next, there is tip and total. You can write how much you want to give for a tip. Do not leave it blank. If you leave it blank, leave it empty, nothing there, a bad server might write their own tip. Hoo-hoo, $200. A bad server might try to change it or steal your money. Just be careful. So write the tip, the check amount, and the tip together is your total. The final amount you will pay, the total. And don't forget to sign the receipt. If you pay in cash, usually you can just give the cash tip directly to the server. Or you can leave it on the table when you are getting ready to leave the restaurant. On the receipt, you can write cash. But these days, many restaurants are paperless. They don't give paper receipts. You will pay on a screen, and usually you can get the receipt sent to your email or phone. Most coffee shops are like this. Oh, then how about coffee shops? Do I need to tip there too? Coffee shops and bakeries, you don't need to tip there, but again, you can if you want to. These days, many places take tips. Food delivery drivers and taxi services, for example, Uber or Grab, are like servers. They make a lower hourly wage. Servers and food delivery drivers and taxi services all rely on tips. Rely to depend on. You don't need to stress too much about it. When you pay on your phone or with the card on the screen, it will let you add a tip. It will let you know, yes, you can tip here. Just remember these: restaurant servers, bartenders, taxi drivers, and food delivery drivers. They rely on tips. But again, don't stress about it too much. One day I hope they can get rid of this tipping culture. One day I hope the workers can get a proper hourly wage. One day. Thank you for listening. That's all for today. I will be back next week with the new episode. Bye bye.